Chapter 1: The Dreamer's Departure. David always believed he was meant for greatness. Growing up in a small town, he watched successful people on TV and thought, "One day, that will be me." One evening, he sat with his mother, gazing at the sunset. "David, Mom, I can't live here forever. I want to move to the city and make something of myself." His mother sighed, holding his hand. "Mom, I know, my son. But success is not easy. The city is not like home. Promise me you won't lose yourself in the process." David, smiling, "I promise, Mom. I'll make you proud." With that, he packed his bags and set off on a journey that would change his life forever. Chapter 2: Reality Hits Hard. When David arrived in the city, everything felt overwhelming: tall buildings, busy streets, and thousands of people moving fast. He started applying for jobs, but rejection after rejection crushed his spirit. One evening, he called his childhood friend, Alex. "David, I don't understand, Alex. I thought I was talented. Why won't anyone hire me?" "Alex, the city is tough, David. But remember, even the strongest trees were once tiny seeds." David decided not to give up. Chapter 3: The Temptation. Desperate for money, David took a job at a cafe, serving coffee to businessmen, the kind of people he wanted to be. One night, a man in a fancy suit approached him. "Man, you don't belong here, kid. You want to make real money?" David hesitated. "David, what do you mean?" The man slid a business card across the counter. "Man, there are quicker ways to success. Call me." David held the card, feeling the weight of temptation. Chapter 4: The Wrong Turn. Curious, David met the man, who introduced himself as Mr. Black. "Mr. Black, people waste years chasing success. But I can give you shortcuts, fast money, no struggle." David thought about his mother's words, "Promise me you won't lose yourself." But his hunger for success was stronger. He shook Mr. Black's hand. Chapter 5: Fast Money, Faster Problems. At first, life was thrilling: money, parties, expensive clothes. David felt invincible. But soon, he realized something. The money came fast, but it disappeared even faster. The friends around him were fake. He had lost sight of his dreams. One night, he received a call. Voice on the phone: "David, we need to talk. Now." His heart pounded. Trouble was coming. Chapter 6: The Collapse. David arrived at a dark alley. Mr. Black stood there, furious. "Mr. Black, you lost my money, David. Do you know what happens to people who disappoint me?" Fear gripped David's heart. He had trusted the wrong people. He ran. He didn't know where, he just ran, escaping the life he thought he wanted. Chapter 7: Rock Bottom. David returned to his tiny apartment, staring at his reflection in the mirror. David, whispering, "Who have I become?" He had no money, no job, no real friends. He had hit rock bottom. That night, he cried, for the first time in years. But in that moment of pain, a new fire awakened inside him. Chapter 8, Rising from the Ashes. David remembered his first love, writing. He had always dreamed of telling stories. Instead of chasing quick success, he started from scratch. He worked hard at an honest job. He wrote every night, improving his craft. He stopped comparing himself to others. His journey was slow, but this time, it was real. Chapter 9, The Comeback. Years later, David published his first book. It wasn't a bestseller, but it touched people's hearts. One day, he received an email. Subject: "We want to turn your book into a movie." His hands shook as he read the words. His dream was coming true. Chapter 10, Full Circle. David returned home, holding a copy of his book. His mother, now older, wiped a tear. "Mom, you kept your promise." David: "I almost lost myself, Mom. But I found my way back." She hugged him. "Mom, that's the real meaning of success, my son. Not money, not fame, but finding your purpose." Chapter 11, The Final Lesson. One day, a young boy approached David at a book signing. "Boy, sir, I want to be successful like you. But I don't know where to start." David smiled and said, "Start by failing. Start by struggling. Start by learning. Because success isn't about how fast you reach the top, it's about how strong you build your foundation." The boy nodded, inspired. And with that, David's journey came full circle. Moral of the story: there are no shortcuts to real success. Failures are not the end, they are the beginning. Money can disappear, but skills and passion last forever. White heavy check mark: true success is finding purpose and staying true to yourself.